Subscribers, vídeos y vamos allá. Mule. Buenas a todos, chavales. Otro jueves más con el Inside Star Citizen, que en este caso se llama Bake, o sea, Bake. Mule. Tranquilo.
It's a Drake manufactured ground vehicle that's called the Mule. I mean, it's a little on the nose.
Hay un fabricante. A ver, un momento.
That's called. It's a Drake manufactured ground vehicle that.
Es un vehículo fabricado, manufacturado por Drake, que se llama la Mule y pasa desapercibido.
It's called the Mule. I mean, it's a little on the nose.
Es que no sé a lo que se refiere, si es a little on the nose o under nose, porque debe ser alguna movida y tal, pero vamos, que pasa desapercibido el vehículo.
Anyone that's played Star Citizen and done a box collection mission will be pretty familiar with the sort of the ways you have to do it, and from watching players play these missions, it's clear that there is scope to improve people's lives there.
Dice, muchos de vosotros habéis hecho misiones de llevar misiones de caja, ¿no? Y por aquellos que hayáis hecho esa misión, pues tenéis ahí un... Es claro que va a hacer la vida mucho más fácil. La nave sale volando por los aires con el viento y tal, que exagerados.
So let's say that you and your friends have just picked up a cargo collection or cargo delivery mission or something like that. That means that you need to go to a planetside location, manually collect a whole bunch of carryable cargo, and then cart it to some other location. The Mule comes in here, where you can land your ship however far away from the location as you need to, drive the Mule in.
It looks like this chunky.
Claro, dice que al final, imaginaos que vais con un grupo de colegas a hacer una misión de cajas y tal. Dice, pues la mula entra en escena aquí, porque puedes aparcar la nave donde se te cante e ir con el vehículo.
Industrial thing, but it definitely accelerates, and it nips around. I got nothing but nips.
Load it up with 6 carryable boxes, and then drive them all back in one go. Save you a few round trips.
Well,
O sea, dice, puedes recargarlo hasta arriba con 6 cajas y te puede ahorrar unos cuantos viajes.
what makes it Drake is it's kind of like almost low-tech styling. So, for example, chunky pipes in the interior, and yeah, like they're just quite low-tech.
When we were building the Mule, we were conscious of trying to make it fit in as many ships as possible, and
Bueno, dice una de las cosas que caracteriza a Drake es ese aspecto de baja tecnología, que se pueden ver los tubos por ahí expuestos y tal. Y cuando construimos la Mule, queríamos que cupiese en diferentes tipos de... O sea, en la mayor cantidad de naves posibles.
And size-wise, if you can fit a rock on board your ship, you can fit a Mule.
Claro, y la idea es, si tú puedes llevar un rock, puedes llevar una mule.
Visually, my favorite part is either the entrance door, because it has these big beaming lights on there that like kind of light your way, but it just gives it like a really nice character to it. Or the front arms, as I said, like when they deploy, it just looks like it's trying to give you a hug, and it's just like these little arms that kind of fold out, and it makes it look kind of cute. That and like the oversized wheels kind of make it look like a Tonka truck. It's just a cute little thing, you know.
Vale, dice que es una cosa preciosa, pequeñita, porque tiene lo de los brazos, que cuando se extiende parece que te va a dar un abrazo y todo eso. Bueno, cada loco con su tema, y que le gustan mucho las luces del frontal.
Wheels kind of make it look like a Tonka truck. It's just a cute.
No sé lo que es un Tonker Truck, pero lo podemos buscar. No sé lo que es un Tonko Truck, no tengo ni idea.
Cute little thing, you know.
The Drake Mule is a fantastic addition to the game. It is a real big quality of life time saver for those that do box missions. And then in the future, with the cargo refactor, its next big use will be actually helping you load your vehicles, loading these big SCU crates from where the cargo is delivered via a freight elevator.
A ver. Un momento. Dice que ahora mismo es una gran añadida al juego y que con el futuro, cuando salga la carga, pues servirá para poder hacer las operaciones de carga y descarga de las naves. Pero aquí estamos viendo ya la Caterpillar con la movida abajo, todo el rollo. Vamos a ver.
And with the cradle in the back and the forklift at the front, you can then essentially ferry two large SCU crates towards your ship and onto your ship, depending on your ship. If you
Estoy viendo que dice que con la parte de atrás y con la parte de delante podrás cargar y descargar cajas, pero fijaros en el mecanismo, como que me parece un mecanismo un poquito más allá de que simplemente... Como que, ¿veis? Se sale para afuera. Se sale para afuera la parte de atrás. Se extiende para afuera.
then essentially ferry two large SCU crates towards your ship and onto your ship, depending on your
Dice cargas de... O sea, puedes manejar cajas grandes con la
ship,
nave.
if your ship is capable of having it attached like that.
The Drake Mule is the latest
Puto discolando, tío. Un momento. Qué grande.
The Drake Mule is the latest in a recent line of small utility ground vehicles designed to improve the first-person, non-combat experience and provide more opportunities for expanded and emergent gameplay than ever before.
Claro, dice que al final el vehículo representa una expansión del gameplay a ese juego no relacionado con el combate.
And it'll make its straight-to-drivable debut in the
O sea, no relacionado, que no implica combate, porque relacionado es mucho decir, pero que no implica combate.
persisting universe during this year's Invictus launch week. But that's not all, because the event has also brought with it the long-awaited Scorpius. With its popular styling and notable firepower, let's learn more about this tandem terror from Roberts Space Industries.
Vale, que lo tenemos, la Mule la tendremos ahora y también la Invictus ha traído la Scorpius con su increíble poder de fuego que vamos a ver en la pantalla, ¿no? Dice.
The in-game one, not the... Well, I suppose it's both.
My favorite aspect of the ship, if I could pick only one. This ship definitely has an unforgettable silhouette.
Si tuviera que escoger un aspecto destacado de la nave, diría que la nave tiene un aspecto inolvidable, una silueta inolvidable.
When you first see it, you can definitely tell that it's going to be, something that you need to take seriously. It's something which you're not really going to forget anytime soon when you see it.
Cuando la ves, dices que sabes que es algo que vas a tener que tomártelo en serio, que no es algo que fácilmente vayas a olvidar.
So we have a few heavy fighters in the game. We've got the Barry Defender, the Anvil Hurricane, the Super Hornet, and they all cater for players who enjoy combat, but they want to have a bit more cooperative combat between you and another player who are in one ship taking on the hordes of enemies. Something that makes these two-person heavy fighters special compared to smaller ships is just that shared experience of combat.
Claro, dice que efectivamente, dice que pues está la Manu Defender, que la categoriza como caza pesado, categoriza también como caza pesado a la Super Hornet, a la Hurricane, y dice que la diferencia entre estas naves y otras pues es que la gente que busca este combate también busca ese compartir la experiencia con un compañero, ¿no? Que en esencia después eso es lo que marca la diferencia.
It's just a much nicer gameplay experience when you're in this one ship taking on the world rather than two people doing their own thing.
So the Scorpius is a heavy fighter. It's quite agile given its size. It's a 2-person ship, and the gunner is in control of a remote turret. When we first conceived the concept of this ship, we didn't have the tech in place to have moving turrets. So I worked with Yogi and Mark to get this in place. And for the first time, you'll be able to control where the turret sits on the ship.
And it's also the first ship in Star Citizen to feature the iconic wing split.
Lo tenían que decir. Al final, pues tuvieron que desarrollar pues que tiene una maniobra. Dice, la Scorpio es un cazapesado que tiene una maniobra muy ágil o sea, es muy ágil para su tamaño, su categoría, y que tuvieron que desarrollar lo que es la movilidad de la torreta, que no la tenían antes, la tecnología de movilidad de la torreta, que se pusieron con Yogi y con Crusader y tal. Y
For the first time, you'll be able to control where the turret sits on the ship.
And it's also the first ship in Star Citizen to feature the iconic wing split.
Y además es la primera vez en Star Citizen que podemos poner esta configuración de alas icónica.
We added a ship transform hotkey, so when the landing gear is retracted, you can use Alt and K to deploy the wings without having to also deploy the landing gear at the same time.
There were certain elements from
Bueno, estaba diciendo la tecla que le podemos poner, ¿no? Que tiene una tecla ahí especial para poder desplegar las alas o plegarlas independientemente del tren.
the RSI ships, which we've taken, most notably the thrusters. But
A ver un momento.
the thrust. There were certain elements from other RSI ships, which we've taken, most notably the thrusters. But honestly, this thing does stand on its own 2 feet, I think, more than the average ship. We were almost leaning towards a more stealthy, sort of futuristic feel for the ship, and kind of what that would look like and mean to RSI if they were to progress down that route.
So
Claro, parece ser que dice que los... a ver un momentito, es que quiero volver a escucharlo porque creo que sí.
Towards a more certain elements from other.
Landing gear.
There were certain elements from other RSI ships, which we've taken, most notably the thrusters. But honestly, this thing does stand on its own 2 feet, I think, more than the average ship. We were almost leaning towards a more stealthy, sort of futuristic feel for the ship, and kind of what that would look like and mean to RSI if they were to progress down that route.
Claro, estaban diciendo de que el tema de... Lo icónico de RSI, de Aerospace Industries, al final son los motores y tal, pero querían hacer una cosa diferente con los motores para ir más en esa dirección, de una sensación de una nave pues más stealthy, más sigilosa, más... y como modernizar un poco, si RSI iba a ir en esa dirección, que se modernizase un poco en ese sentido a la hora de la producción, ¿no? Como de la hora de la nave.
So since concept, it's doubled its missile loadout, so it's now got 16 size 2 missiles, and the shields have gone up to a single size 2 shield, which is pretty hefty in the current combat meta.
Está diciendo de que ahora mismo, pues, desde el concepto se le doblaron los misiles, ahora tiene 16 misiles de tamaño 2, y también se le puso un escudo de tamaño 2, y ahora mismo que es bastante duro en el sistema de combate actual.
Whilst the Scorpius will be launching at Invictus launch week, development is not stopping on the ship. There are some things that we want to do with it in the future, but they weren't essential to the vehicle releasing.
This ship is for...
Está diciendo que el desarrollo de la Scorpio no se detendrá, hay varias cosas que quieren hacer en el desarrollo de la nave, pero no estarán listas en la liberación de la nave.
someone who wants an agile ship that also does a lot of damage. In future, what we would like to do, so, you know, wings retracted, maybe the ship can gain more momentum, have more agility. That is something we do want to look back at in the future.
En el futuro, una de las cosas que queremos mirar es que cuando la nave tenga las alas retraídas, que sea más ágil, que se comporte diferente. Eso es algo lo que queremos mirar definitivamente en el futuro.
So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that Drake may not have the flashiest looks, but their focus on utility and usefulness can never be questioned with the upcoming Mule. That the RSI Scorpius will increase opportunities for those wanting to do the two-pilot tango while pushing turret gameplay into new spaces with its unprecedented changeable firing arcs. And that all of this is part of this year's Invictus launch week going on right now. Pop on over to the robertsspaceindustries.com website for more details. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. This is the 7th floor of the Manchester Goods Yard building, 8th story of the building as a whole, and the first of 3 that will soon be home to our UK studio. Because they don't count the ground floor as one here. So the 8th story is actually numbered as the 7th story, 7th floor. No, Justin and Amanda, you do not cut this out. This is important. We'll see you all next week.
Me estaba contando una paranoia de por qué estar en el 7º piso y tal, que bueno, que nos estaban enseñando el 7º piso del edificio de Manchester y que va a haber otros 3 pisos más, otras 2 plantas más para el estudio que tienen en Reino Unido. Y que bueno, que Drake dice que quizás no sea lo más elegante, pero no, nadie puede discutir la utilidad que tiene. Y RSI Scorpius, pues que es para aquellos que quieran disfrutar del tango espacial entre dos y de esa experiencia de torreta, también con esa experiencia de torreta, con esa característica además única de ese cambio de posición del artillero. Yo os voy a decir una cosa, chavales. Espero que lo entendáis, pero yo ya dije que la Scorpius no vale como nave única, tal y cual. Ya visteis mi análisis y tal. Lo visteis mi análisis. Ahora bien, yo os digo una cosa. Ya está, chavales. Eso es todo. No han metido la Odyssey hoy. No la han metido. Es verdad que no la han metido, chavales. Me vais a tener que dar un segundo. Tengo que hacer una llamada y ya. Vale, chicos. Tengo que hacer una llamada importante. A ver. No me estoy cagando. Un momento, hijos de puta. Ahora vengo.